Hi everyone, I'm Yolanda and welcome to Yolanda's Cakes. Today I'm going to be making 6 different types of tiaras. In this tutorial, I'm not going to use any pattern as I will freehand each design. Here are some of the items you will need to make the tiaras. If you like to learn how to make this quilted board for your tiara, follow the link at the end of this video. To make the tiaras, I want to make a paste that is not as hard as gum paste and not as soft as fondant. I'm going to make a quick gum paste. To this piece of fondant, I'm going to be adding less than a quarter teaspoon of Tylose or CMC. In this way, the paste will not be too soft or too rigid. The fondant is already turning less pliable. This means that the Tylose is starting to work. You should let it rest for a couple of hours or overnight. Another way of making a quick gum paste is by using 50% fondant with 50% gum paste. To my left I have gum paste and to my right fondant. Notice the difference. The gum paste is very stiff while the fondant is more pliable. And to condition the gum paste, add a little bit of vegetable shortening. After combined, let the paste rest before using. It is best to let it rest for a day or so. To glue the tiaras, I need a strong glue. For this small jar of water, I will add a pinch of Tylose, CMC, or small pieces of fondant. Let it rest for a couple of hours or until the next day. It will thicken and it will look like a gel. For this job, I will use an extruder and all the strings will be of the same thickness, but for the benefit of those that don't have an extruder, I will roll out the strings by hand. The paste should be soft and pliable when filling the extruder. Also, do small pieces at a time. Do not put a lot of the paste inside the extruder. You should clean your extruder after each use. We start by covering a cylinder-shaped object with a piece of wax paper. The base of the tiara is made with 2 strings. Roll out a piece of gum paste with the back of the palm of your hand to make 2 strings. Glue the strings together and place on the cylinder. This will be our base for the tiara. Generally, the tiaras are made with hearts, S's, C's, circles, etc. My first piece will be a heart glued to the base. To make a flat stone, as I call it, I roll out a piece of gum paste in between my hands to form a cone. Then flatten it with either your thumb or with the fondant smoother. I continue cutting strings and adding pieces. It is very important that the pieces be connected and glued to other pieces in some spots. No piece should be loose or without being glued to a piece in some spots. Only in the center can be one single piece, but the sides need to have equal amounts of pieces of the same design. This requires patience and time. Sometimes after you have placed and glued a piece, you find it not to be the right place or not to be the right piece, or the size or proportion is not the same, or it doesn't look right at all. Then you might need to start all over again. But that's okay, because in the end it will look just the way you wanted it to look. Notice that I have already glued some S's, and now I'm adding a C to tie the heart to the S on either side. This C will help the heart to be secured in place. I'm adding here 3 flat stones. They add height and elegance to a tiara. I had no idea what I was going for when I started building this tiara, but after I started cutting strings, I started getting ideas. And you will too. For the next tiara, the mold cutout I'm going to use was a cutout from a placemat similar to this one that I had. I cut out this piece because I liked the design. I washed it really well and now I use it as a mold for tiaras and other decorations. It's one of my favorite fondant molds. If you don't have something like this, you may cut out a solid piece of gum paste with a similar shape and then decorate it to your liking. I roll out the gum paste over the mold, remove the excess, mark a straight line using a ruler, cut through a straight line at the bottom. Now glue to the base. Now glue that piece to the base. Now I roll out another string and add it around the piece as a border. Continue cutting and building with more strings. I've already placed 2 S's on top. Now I'm going to continue by adding equal amount of S's to both sides. At the corners, I've added a small bent piece of string. And lastly, I used this fondant mold to create a beautiful brooch and added it to the top over the flat stone. I'll show you how I made the rest of the tiaras. This tiara is very simple. It has 3 hearts, one inside the other, 2 S's and a C on either side. On top, it has 1 flat stone and 5 pearls. I used a fondant border mold for the border at the bottom. I sprayed it with edible pearl luster spray. This one unfortunately slipped off of my hands and broke, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. I used the same homemade fondant mold I used before. I also attached a string border around it. It has 2 S's and a small bent piece of string on the bottom corner on either side. And finally, I attached the brooch to the front. I also sprayed edible pearl luster spray. This one, in my opinion, is more suitable for an older girl, perhaps a teenager. Good for a quinceañera or a sweet 16. Notice the half S's on top that form a heart. It has a string of S's and bent pieces of strings. I also added silver sugar pearls, but since I also added a non-edible stone at the bottom of the heart, that makes this tiara a non-edible item. You need to make sure that when you attach any non-edible item to your cake decoration, to let the client know that because of that, then the entire piece is non-edible. I love this little one because it reminds me of a little girl. Perhaps for a 1-year-old birthday party. It is made with the homemade fondant mold that I showed you before on the 2 strings base. I also placed a border of a very thin string on top. I added a small S on either side and a brooch in the center. Highlighted the design with a light shade of pink. This one has a rows of tiny flowers made with the fondant mold, and I attached some sugar pearls to the flowers. I also decorated the brooch with sugar pearls. I think this tiara is very simple and easy to make. Again, if you don't have this mold, you can use a solid piece and decorate that. And the last one is made with 2 hearts, some flat stones, and pearls made with a fondant mold. I also sprayed it with edible gold luster spray. Well, this has been all for today. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you are able to make one of these tiaras for your princess. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I will see you back here again with another tutorial similar to this one. Remember, do all that you can to live in peace with everyone. Have a great day and God bless you.